Hello, Cougar Nation, and welcome back to Guysman Gymnasium here on Saturday, February 1st. It's a new month and a chance for a new start for Concordia Chicago's men's basketball team, a team on a three-game losing streak and a team that's fallen to 4-8 in conference, coming off of a tough 82-74 home loss to the Dominican University Stars this last Wednesday. And I mean, it was a tough loss. They stayed in the lead most of the first half, fell off a bit in the second half. There were some good performances. Sean Beckman, a 15-point, 11-rebound, double-double. Great game in the paint for Beckman. Jacob Collicott, as per usual, leading the team with 20 points. But it was an interesting night out of Jacob.
Yeah, Jacob Collicott, we all know him. Electrifying player, somebody who is not only one of the best players in the victory basketball, just regular college basketball. Get up down the floor and does everything that the team has to do. But he did struggle shooting from the floor. Shot 5 for 17 the other night. And frankly, if this Concordia Chicago team wants to win, and they need a big win tonight to stay alive for their playoff hopes, he has to frankly just shoot better. They're going to have to rely on him a lot more, and he's just got to come through.
Absolutely. And you mentioned those shootings, that shooting percentage. That's something we'll talk about. You'll talk about on team's perspective in a minute. But on the flip side, on the other side of the court, it's the Marian University Sabres, and they haven't been having the best time themselves as of late. They started conference play 5-2. They've fallen to 6-6. Lost 4 of their last 5 on a 3-game losing streak. Most recently, a tough 5-point loss in overtime to St. Norbert's, the second-ranked team in the conference. And there were some big performances out there. Malik Hall, 15 points off the bench, led all of the Sabres. But in that loss, there were also a couple notable performances as well.
Yeah, so I want to highlight Jack Field, sophomore, 6'6" sophomore, had 14 points off the bench, averaging 4.2 points off the bench this year. Got a career-high 14 points last game against St. Norbert. This is something that probably Marian did not really expect out of their young sophomore, but for him to come through like that for his team, even though it wasn't a loss, shows a lot of promise. It could be something to watch out tonight as they play today against the Cougars.
Absolutely. And going in today, both these teams really need to get back on the win column. Marian wants to stay above 500. The Cougars, they've fallen into a rut of saying, oh, this game's a must-win game, and then you lose that game, and the next game's even more of a must-win game. This is a must-win game. The Cougars are 2 games out of the playoffs as we head towards the back end of the season. Fallen to 12th in conference and need to get back to that top 8 to make the playoffs. It's a must-win game. There's no other way to put it. The Cougars got to get it done. Alan, how do you think CUC can get it done out there tonight?
Well, frankly, they get Joel Watts tonight. He comes back, he's going to be an electrifying presence for them. 40% from the three-point line, one of their leading scorers, somebody who just brings a lot of presence down on the floor. So that's one key. Secondly, the Cougars will try to stay consistent with their shooting split. They started off hot. They started early against Dominican. They were in the lead for most of that first half. But then that second half came and it just slowed it down. They need to keep it throughout the entire game and just stay with it. Stay with it. It's crunch time now. You got to get it done, and they got to be able to come through with that. Also, you got to limit the transition turnovers. A lot of times in transition on the fast break, just trying to rush way too much, and they need to be able to slow down and take control.
Absolutely. For me, it's that three-point shooting that should get a big boost with Joel Watts coming back. Only 2 3-pointers made against Dominican. You got to have that supplementary part of your game, especially in big-time matchups like that one. Before we get going, a little history between these two squads. And it's one led by Marian. They've won 20 games, but the Cougars are close. They've won 16. It's the Cougars who are in control of that rivalry right now as well. CUC won the last 2, including last year's game. They'll look to keep that going today here in Guysman Gymnasium. In just a couple minutes, Concordia Chicago taking on Marian University here in River Forest. We'll be right back on the Cougar Sports Network. Welcome back, Cougar Nation, to Geisman Gymnasium here on the Cougar Sports Network. Marian University taking on your Concordia University Chicago Cougars. Starting lineups have been red. Teams take to the court as the Cougars get hyped up. We'll run through those starters very quickly for you for Marian. Number 2, Andrew Ianni. Number 4, Brandon Adorno. Number 5, Eli Vogel. Number 15, Alex Vasilakis. And number 34, Sam Gingras, who will be taking tip for the Sabres. On the Cougars' end, it's number 3, Tallis Lowry. Number 11, Darian Williams. Number 30, Aaron Brown. And number 33, Sean Beckman, alongside number 14, Jacob Collicott. And as usual, will be Jacob Collicott to take tip for CUC. Collicott coming off of a 20-point performance on Wednesday night against Dominican. He'll look to follow that up with another big performance today against the Sabres in what is a must-win game for both teams.
I'm so excited to call tonight's game. Oh, man. The energy is just so high.
And Marian will take that energy into winning the tip. It'll be Adorno to run point to start this one off. Passes it off to Vogel, swings it to Gingras. Back over to Vasilakis. Vasilakis leads this team in minutes played. And here's a 3, and he'll hit it! Brandon Adorno starts this game off hot for Marian.
Yeah, we did not touch on Brandon Adorno during the pregame, but this is their leading scorer for Marian, 14.4 points per game, and is also from Chicago, so kind of a home game for him tonight.
Tallis Lowry working in for the Cougars, spinning, puts it up. No good. Aaron Brown fighting for the rebound, and he'll get it. Swings it to Jacob Collicott. Collicott driving in, kicks it out to Brown. Long 2, and he hits it. Aaron Brown making his return to the starting lineup after a run of strong performances for this squad, and he makes an impact on the first possession.
Glad to see him in the starting lineup. Well-deserved. Has been playing pretty well basketball. Very good basketball, as you've been saying, Jonathan.
That's a nice entrance pass to Eli Vogel. Vogel misses the rim entirely on that short shot. Cougars push the pace. Collicott swings it across to Williams. Back up to Lowry. Jacob Collicott down to Sean Beckman. Beckman running baseline. Tries to sling it to Brown and just misses. Miscommunication between Beckman. It looks to actually be Darian Williams. Let's see, Tallis Lowry out at point, who's been playing very well the last few games. He's taken on an increased role since Joel Watts was injured. Watts coming back tonight. He'll be eased back into his role with this squad.
Excited to see both what Lowry does tonight and also Joel Watts, how they use him, how to utilize him, just how to ease him back into the lineup. But 2 big presents that will be playing tonight.
Gingras moving in, kicks that back out to Adorno now. Vogel back to Gingras, back to Ianni, over to Adorno. Adorno can't reel it in cleanly, able to save it. Working baseline, working on Collicott, looking to go up with it. He will, and he makes it, beats the buzzer. And another couple of points for Adorno. He has all 5 for Marian tonight. Williams working on Ianni, sends that into Beckman. Beckman coming off of a double-double performance last time out. Collicott swings to Williams, over to Lowry. Lowry now sends that into Brown. Brown looking for somewhere to go. Lowry moving in, spinning, fading away, puts it up, no good off the back of the rim, rebounded by Vogel.
That was a good shot there from Lowry, just didn't go through. But you need to keep taking those kind of shots, keep getting that kind of space, they'll start to go down.
Vogel with a 3, no good off the back of the rim, and Gingras chases that rebound down. Marian with a second chance at a possession now. Adorno working on Lowry. Tries to swing that over to Vasilakis, nearly goes back court. Now Gingras in the corner, tries to get that into Ianni. He does. Ianni across to Adorno for 3, and he hits it. Corner 3, Brandon Adorno. He's at 8 on the day already. It's an 8-2 lead for Marian.
Yeah, you saw Aaron Brown, go collapse into the paint there. Left a wide open Adorno in the corner, and he made him pay. Cannot do that, especially against a good team like this, looking to get back into the win column.
Williams tries to get out to Lowry. That's knocked out of bounds. Cougars hit 1 bucket, haven't scored since. Collicott to inbound, gets it out to Lowry, so Lowry will restart this team from the top of the key, and he'll spot up for a 3 wide open and hits it. Marian just no need or intent to defend Lowry at the top of the key. Now Vasilakis sends that over to Ianni, sends it to Gingras, sends it to Vogel. Vogel moving central, kicks that out to Vasilakis. Vasilakis back to Gingras. Gingras spots up, now he drives in, and Brown's going to knock that out of bounds.
Good recovery there from Aaron Brown, especially since Sean Miller got beat on the step there. Good way to pick up his teammate.
Adorno will inbound. Looking for Ianni. That's slapped by Collicott, and Brown has it. Collicott will push the pace. Slings it to Lowry. Back to Beckman. Back to Williams. Williams moving in, and it's a late pass to Collicott. Picked off by Vogel, and Vogel with an easy layup gets up to the rim and drops it in.
Good anticipation there. Leads to a Marian bucket. Got to be a little more careful there by CUC. As again, we see it right there.
Yeah, it was on that last steal on the fast break points. Collicott clapped for the ball, and Vogel just read it immediately. Williams just a bit late on getting that pass out once it was called for, but it was really just a good read from Vogel. Williams lobs that out for Beckman. Beckman, entry pass to Brown is fumbled. Brown's still able to reel it in, but it's outside the arc. Back to Beckman, swinging to Lowry. Lowry moving in. Out to Beckman, over to Collicott. Collicott gets that to Beckman, out to Lowry. Lowry now moving in, under pressure, tries to pass that out, can't. Now Williams for three, and he hits it. Darian Williams with a needed three. The Cougars 2 for 2 from downtown so far.
Lowry was able to create a lot of space there on the penetration, getting two defensive collapsing on him, left Darian Williams wide open in the corner. That's his spot, and he was able to knock it down. Much needed three there, and two-point game here.
Gingras driving in, and he's just going to lose it out of bounds. Good D from Sean Beckman.
And now we see Joel Watts come into the game. Excited to see the presence that he will bring into tonight, working his way back into the lineup.
Now you see Watts back to running point for this squad. Moving left on Marian, now switching to central, swinging right, gets it to Beckman, swings that to Williams. Williams, pump fake three, back to Collicott. Back to Williams. Williams moving in, baseline, kicks that out to Watts. Corner three. No good off the side of the backboard. Gets the rebound himself. Looking for something to do with it. Gets it to Beckman. Beckman, short shot. No good. Rebounded by Adorno. Adorno has trying to create some space. Gets that to Vasilakis for three. No good. Knocked out of bounds by Brown. That'll stay Marian's ball. And we'll see if someone makes an effort to not pull that net down on the Cougars' end of the court. Andriani working baseline, goes up! And that'll be a foul called on Collicott.
Good aggressive play there from Collicott. Going to make him earn at the line.
Last time out against Dominican on Wednesday night, just both teams, Cougars and Dominican, had some big blocks throughout that game.
Collicott totaled 3 blocks, and so it seemed like he had way more than that, though.
It felt like, those are some big blocks going up. That's what Collicott does. Guys bigger than him, you get up there, you hang with them, you slap it down, and 3 blocks from a single player in a game, too, especially one with Collicott's build. Very impressive. Now Watts working far side as the Cougars trail by 3 early, 5 minutes into the game. Gets that to Williams. Williams over to Collicott. Entry pass to Beckman. Puts it up and in.
Way to finish through contact there. That was a really, really strong finish. A lot of concentration and really good ability there from Sean Beckman.
It was a nice entrance pass from Collicott, too. His first stat entry of the night. That swung over to Adorno. Adorno driving baseline, has some space, and just throws it up. No good. Slapped rebound grabbed by Collicott. They'll try and laser that to Beckman, and Beckman just not ready for it. Doing a bit lackadaisical on the far side of the court.
And those are one of the things we talked about in the pregame. Just limiting the transition turnovers. One of those things that just happened right there. Just have to be able to just stay calm, understand that you have a lot of time on the shot clock. It's something to reinforce, but it needs to happen. And, not going to kill the Cougars here right now, but something that they will look to, fix the rest of this game.
Exactly. You don't want to risk those turnovers adding up. Cougars still trailing by 1 as you see Riker Johnson getting ready to come into the game. into the game. A couple new faces for Marian out there. 3 new faces to be exact. Krolak swings that down to Jenkins. Jenkins working on Beckman. Gets that to Ianni. Ianni moving in, trying to work on Brown, and he beats him through.
It's good defensive possession there from Aaron Brown, but able to just slip past him a little bit and able to get a good open shot.
That's a nice assist from A.J. Willard. Draws the coverage and gets it to Sean Beckman. Brandon Adorno now running point, working on Collicott. Gets it to Jenkins. Jenkins looking to do something. Going to go to work on Sean Beckman. Spots up, long two, no good. Left side of the rim. Brown with the rebound. Cougars pushing pace. Collicott lays that to Beckman. Beckman loses it. Collicott's there to grab it. Back into Beckman. Beckman working. Throws it up. Fouled by Jenkins.
Like the Cougars saying, Sean Beckman involved. Seems like the offense is moving a little bit. This is how they started, the Dominican game as well. Needs to be able to continue that kind of pace, that kind of energy, that kind of movement throughout the whole game. But it's good to see that early on.
Yeah, and Sean Beckman, effectively, he pretty much has to play as his team's center. Because this is a Cougars team that, there's not a lot of size on the roster. Sean Beckman, one of the bigger guys, alongside Aaron Brown. So Beckman has to play as that center sometimes, but his play style, when he's at his best, he's playing like a power forward. We saw that kind of work against him at moments against Dominican, a game where you kind of need that big body physicality to just muscle through people. But today, so far, it's working out as a big asset for Sean Beckman. He doesn't need to worry about muscling through anyone or getting out-muscled. He's able to use that power forward skill set and get to the rim. Cougars on top for the first time today, 14-13.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting as well with the Marian lineup looking a bit small as well, only with Jack Field on the floor, the tallest guy out there, but not as big as Beckman as we see the transition here.
That pass broken up. Beckman moving in transition, throws it up and one! Draws the foul! And Sean Beckman's going to head to the line for a chance at 3.
As we were just mentioning, the smaller lineup Marian has out there right now almost seems like almost buffet food right now for Sean Beckman. Just with the size that he's outmatching them with. Should be, if they keep him out, if they keep that lineup out there, it's going to be a big night for Sean Beckman.
And Marian's going to try and get a break from the buffet as they call their first time out of the night. But Beckman already up to 8 points through the first 7 minutes, 15 seconds. There are just 2 players on both sides who are just going off so far. Sean Beckman already at 8, half of the Cougars' points. Brandon Adorno on the Marian side, he's at 8 points. They're having a great time out there, the 2 of them. And you look down the rest of the roster, Talis Lowry, Jerry Williams, Aaron Brown, the other players to score for the Cougars, Andrew Ianni, Eli Vogel for Marian. All of those players only have one bucket. It's Sean Beckman and Brandon Adorno. That's the show right now.
Yeah, I'm going to be interested to see how Darren Williams also keys into this game. Had a quiet night against the Dominican, only scoring 3 points. Already matched his total so far today. It's going to be interesting to see if they can get us some more open looks throughout this game and they'll be able to contribute.
Yeah, something to note about Marian, they have a lot of diversity on their roster. Only one player scoring over 10 points a game. A lot of guys, though, in that 8 to 10 range. The roster out on the court right now, totally different to the guys who were out there at the start of the game. That's you don't see that a lot in games, especially within 10 minutes of starting the match. But right now with Marian trailing by 4, it's Harper Krolak bringing it down court, swings it to Field. Vasilakis now gets it back to Field, swings that all the way across to Krolak. Krolak baseline drive, swings that to Jenkins. To Hall. Hall wide right on the three-point attempt. The rebound's loose. Krolak's there to pick it up.
Good pursuit there.
Field back to Krolak. Krolak driving in, layup.
Second chance points there, giving up from the Cougars. Got to be able to rebound.
Collicott double teamed. That's slapped away, but Collicott's able to grab it back. Watts to Johnson. Johnson to Willard. Willard back to Johnson. Johnson looking for somewhere to go. Watts is going to give him the option. Watts tries to sling that in, able to somehow get it to Collicott through the midair contact. Collicott moving in, gets it to Beckman. And another shot for Sean Beckman, already at 11 on the day.
Great cut there from Sean Beckman. Saw the wide open paint in between the 2 defenders. Collicott was able to see him as well. Some good court vision there, bounced it out to him. Was able to finish through a strong finish. Good basket work there from the Cougars.
Jacob Collicott and Joel Otts coming out of the game. Tallis Lowry, Darian Williams back in. Something to note with Collicott coming out of the game. It has not been a bad day for Collicott. He hasn't attempted a shot yet, but he's been an incredible distributor out on the court.
Yeah, I mean, we were mentioning that in the pregame show as well. Somebody who can do pretty much everything that you need a team to ask him to do. And I know we mentioned that he will have to shoot a little better tonight as compared to the Dominican game, but he impacts the game in so many other ways, from his shot blocking ability, his defensive ability, anticipation, but also with his distributing, as you were just mentioning, Jonathan. He can pretty much, he's a jack of all trades. He can pretty much do everything you need him to. And, even when one thing isn't going well, he's going to provide you in other ways.
Beckman from 3, no good. Loose ball rebound. Willard's fighting for it. Williams dives for it. Finally picked up by Hall. And that's going to be a foul tagged on Tallis Lowry. Actually, it's tagged on A.J. Willard. A.J. Willard doesn't foul much outside of transition, but every game, A.J. Willard good for 1 or 2 fouls in transition. Picks up his 1 foul of the night right there. Now Malik Hall takes the inbound. Working on Willard. Moving right. Gets it to Jenkins. Jenkins now working on Willard. Jenkins will move in. Trying to get past Williams. Puts it up. No good. Can't get his own rebound either.
Good defense there from the Cougars. Come back down to transition here.
Lowry moving in, slings that to Willard. 3. Bangs it in. A.J. Willard from downtown, and the Cougars lead by 7.
A.J. Willard coming off an 8-point game. Good game against Dominican. Looking to bounce back, looking to build off of that game, excuse me. Keep going. Good shot there.
Krolak able to get that out to Field. Field working on Beckman. Gets it out to Jenkins. Jenkins, spot up 3. Off the back of the rim, no good. Beckman's there for the rebound. Beckman moving quickly, gets that to Lowry. Lowry driving, baseline floater. Drops that in nicely, and that's going to be another timeout called by Drake Diener.
Cougars looking really good right now. Really looking good. That was a pretty roller there from Lowry. But going on a nice little run here. Got to keep it up, got to keep that energy up. Seems like the Cougars are playing with a little bit more control and pace compared to Dominican. And it seems like they're just having just a better understanding of how to just manage the basketball. I don't know what you see there, Jonathan, but that's just what I am seeing right now.
I think you're right on point. It's managing the basketball and working that into easy shots. They're not like they're making tough shots when they have to take them. Most of the time, though, it's an open 3. It's a nice, easy drive-in, one-on-one floater opportunity. Great passes into the paint. I mean, usually what we see when Jacob Collicott's out on the court, every other possession will end up with Jacob driving in, trying to create a shot. He didn't do that once when he was in there. Instead, you draw the coverage and get a nice pass into Sean Beckman or whoever's in the paint. That's what we've seen from pretty much anyone out on the court for the Cougars today, and it is working.
It seems like they made a lot of adjustments in the film room compared from last game to this game. It also seems like coach is not really going to stretch Jacob out on the floor as much. Resting already early in this game. Seems like he's going to give his legs a little bit chance to rest, especially since he played so many minutes last game against Dominican.
Sabres back to that starting 5. Vasilakis has it on the far side, moving in down the baseline. Lays that up, no good, and that is going to be out of bounds off of Riker Johnson. Second chance opportunity coming up for the Sabres. And he inbounds to Adorno. Adorno working on Williams. And Williams strips him. Darian Williams working his way in. Nice ball to Riker Johnson. Johnson out to Willard. Willard hesitates, back out. Williams hesitates. Now Willard moving in over to Beckman. 3. That's wide right. Airballed and grabbed by Vogel. Adorno sends that to Ianni. Ianni thought about moving in, covered by Williams. Out to Adorno. 3. Adorno no good off the back of the rim. And miscommunication on the rebound. Willard had it. Beckman was going up for it and just ran into Willard. Willard holding on to it. Has to take a couple gather steps. And he's tagged with a travel.
And that's really tough to see there, man. You just run into a brick wall and shot Beckman. Trying to get your own rebound. Tough break there from the Cougars.
A.J. Willard being able to catch a breather after that hit. Adorno, running point, gets it to Gingras. Gingras moving in, has space on the right side. Now he'll give up on it. Jacob Collicott, backhand steal. Gets that to Lowry. Lowry has to slow it up. Lowry moving in, kicks it to Williams. Corner three, hits it. Another three for Darian Williams, and the Cougars lead by 12.
And it all started from the anticipation from Jacob Collicott. Almost looked like he reached behind him to get that steal. So really good possession there from the Cougars, leading to a transition three.
Now Aaron Brown with a big block on the far side, sends that one back where it came from. That's going to force possession starting from out of bounds for Marian. I mean, you're at a 10-0 run for the Cougars, 17-2 run. 4-minute scoring drought now for Marian. And there's a steal on the inbound. They're going to say that Kenton Pryor stepped out of bounds.
Seems like Marian's having some miscommunication right now. They're not really sure. Brandon Dornell was looking at his coach, looking at it as if, somebody was not running the right play.
Yeah, and Drake Diener is just frustrated on the sideline right now. Ianni working in on Brown, puts it up through contact and draws the foul.
Yeah, it seems right now that Marian is really fighting to get some good looks. The Cougars really have been on them a lot with their pressure, with their defense staying in front of their man, not really giving them a lot of space to really do anything. And it just seems like they're just laboring right now to get some open looks. And if this keeps going, I mean, it's going to be a long night for the Sabres.
Ianni's first free throw is up and in. So that breaks the scoring drought for Marian in a needed way. As we see Jazz Orozco come into the game for the first time tonight for Marian. Ianni looking to make it a 2-for-2 trip. And he will not. Collicott gets up there for the rebound. A dangerous one. Brown got under him. Tallis Lowry now bringing it down court, lays it to Collicott. Collicott back to Lowry. Over to Pryor. Williams in the corner, moving in. Kicks that to Lowry. Lowry now driving in. And he will draw the foul. That's tagged on Brandon Adorno. On the floor, reset of possession for CUC. Collicott heads down to inbound. Calls for Williams. Floats that out to Lowry. Lowry working in, out to Pryor. Pryor now, baseline drive to Brown. Brown, easy short shot. Great ball movement again from the Cougars.
That was so pretty to see. So pretty to see. Pryor knew that he did not have a shot there, but saw Aaron Brown cut it in, handed it off, being selfless. Great possession there.
Ianni responds, breaks the field goal drought. A nice layup to get it over the block of Jacob Collicott. Lowry feints the three, gets it to Brown, back to Lowry. Now Lowry driving in, kicks out to Williams. Three. No good off the front of the rim, rebounded by Adorno. Gingras to Vogel, down to Orozco. Orozco back up to Gingras. Over to Orozco. Back to Vogel, three. Banks it in, and Eli Vogel gets it done in an unorthodox way, and that is a needed three for Marian. They bring it back to an 8-point game.
The third three of the night so far for Marian out of 8 shots. So shooting it well from the three-point line.
Lowry spots up for three and hits it! Tallis Lowry responds with another three ball.
That's how you do it. You get punched, you punch right back. And so far, the Cougars showing a lot of resolve tonight. And they really know that this is a must-win game. And showing some good effort.
Orozco driving in. They'll stop and tried to pass it to Adorno. And Adorno just not thinking Orozco would send a pass there. It's passed straight out of bounds. And that's another turnover. CUC's ball.
And we see Joel Watts coming back into the game here. Also with Collicott, Aaron Brown, and Sean Beckman on the floor. And let's see what kind of offensive sets they run here with both of these guys on the floor.
Lowry going to get that to Collicott. Collicott thought about driving baseline, kicks back out to Lowry. Lowry now moving in, over to Collicott, back to Brown. Brown will drive, and that's stripped by Gingras. Ianni now moving down court. He'll still move down court. Nice, easy pass to the lane, but can't finish the shot. And it's called a block by the official. Lowry swings it to Beckman, to Watts, drives in, flies that back out to Collicott, over to Beckman, open, three, no good.
Pretty easy over the back foul there. Kind of like tabletop them a little bit, you know, when the waiter gives you the food.
It was a great box out from Gingras. I mean, Brown reached out for that. He got it. I mean, that was a solid, like, 3-foot reach for that thing. That is a good box out from Gingras, though, to know to not go up for that rebound instead. Edge off Brown. Now Marian, trailing by 11, has the ball. Jack Field working on A.J. Willard. Flings that over to Adorno. Adorno feints a three, steps back, feints it again, moves in, kicks out to Vogel for three. No good. Watts gets the rebound. Now Beckman moving down court quickly. Cross up, puts up the shot, and is fouled by Field.
Yeah, that was some pretty moves there from Brandon Adorno. He was able to fake Jacob Collicott out there and able to get him to go on the fake. Was seeing his wide open teammate. Unfortunately, wasn't able to hit the shot for him, but you know that's the kind of playmaking ability that Brandon Adorno has, and he's able to just create those kind of opportunities for his teammates, which is very, very, very good to see for Marian.
Sean Beckman, no good on the first free throw attempt.
So the Cougars will not be going perfect from the free throw line tonight, as they almost did against Dominican.
Beckman looking to at least salvage this trip, though. And he will. Beckman already up to 12 points on the night. That's a heck of a follow-up to a double-double against Dominican.
Started off strong in that first half against Dominican as well. Doing the same thing here, hoping that he can keep that going throughout the rest of this game.
Jack Field calls for Vasilakis. Over to Krolak. Krolak driving. Krolak goes up. No good. Rebounded by Johnson. Now A.J. Willard pushing with pace. Gets it down to Beckman. That's out of bounds. Off of Beckman. The Cougars are bamboozled. And there it is. The call is changed. And I mean, I'm not sure exactly what the baseline official was seeing with that one, because that was a very clearly off of Vasilakis.
Maybe he might have thought it went off Sean Beckman's thigh, maybe knee there. I am not too sure.
Inbound. Marian's going to say ball don't lie, as that's out of bounds off of Beckman on the inbound, off of Collicott. So Adorno to send the inbound into Field. Field lays it back to Adorno, and Adorno will go to work.
Once again, Marian running out the small lineup here. All right, looking to get some quicker guys here on the floor.
Nice ball to Krolak. Now Field pickpocketed by Watts, but there's Adorno to get the loose ball. No good on the layup. Krolak with the second chance opportunity gets it in. Collicott over to Willard. Johnson sends that to Beckman. That's interrupted.
Just a forced turnover there. And I have to throw that pass right into the defender's hands.
Jack Field slowing it up. Sends that over to Vasilakis to Adorno. Adorno, spot up three. Hits it. And that's going to prompt a timeout from Rashawn Searles.
Yeah, that was a really, really good shot there from Adorno. Use that dribble to get ahead, create some space, and they didn't really need much. Got a little glimmer of hope there and was able to knock it down. Good shot there.
Brandon Adorno, the driving force of this offense early on in the game, hits a three to bring it back under 10. The interesting stat to note, still just looking at it again, you can't say he's had a bad game. He's been impactful when he's on the court, but Jacob Collicott, still no field goals attempted for the Cougars.
Yeah, I believe that at some point he's going to have to start getting some shots up, because it seems like the Cougars might be running a little dry a little bit here. Not as many points been scored throughout these past few minutes. Going to need a little bit of a spark here for this offense, and need him to start taking some shots.
Cougars lead by 7. Collicott to inbound out of the timeout. Sends it over to Watts. Watts bringing it down the far sideline. Kicks back to Collicott. Collicott sends it to Willard, who's able to keep it in. Over to Watts. Watts, long two. Hits it. That's a three. The official does call that a three. So Joel Watts He's back, and he gets his first three since coming back from injury to respond to Brandon Adorno's.
Beautiful shot there from Watts, able to catch it in the pocket.
There's a steal for Collicott. Beckman's going to send it to Collicott, and there's the first shot for Jacob. Gets up there, makes it a 12-point game.
Hopefully first of many for Mr. Collicott tonight.
Harper Krolag working on Collicott. Gets it to Adorno. Adorno working on Johnson. Moving in, spinning. Tries to make a nice pass to field, and that's going to be kicked out of bounds by Johnson.
Yeah, they kind of cleared some space out, almost like an isolation play there for Brandon Adorno. Able to utilize the spin move. Almost had something there. Probably a good break there for the Cougars with the kick ball.
Gets that to Field. Field working on Beckman. Puts up the shot and hits it. Jack Field, mid-range jumper goes. That's his first bucket of the night. Johnson slows it down to Collicott. Thought about a three, instead he'll send it to Beckman. Over to Johnson. Johnson to Collicott. Collicott feints the three. Looking to get it to someone, sends it in to Johnson. Johnson able to hang on to it. Has to do something, spinning, puts up the shot and nets it in.
Nice little spin move there. Maybe got away with a walk, but you know we're not here to dispute. But good shot there for the Cougars.
Harper Krolat gonna drive in, float up a ball for Field. That's a loose ball. Another long pass for Collicott behind the back, and a behind the back layup attempt. Jacob Collicott profiting off of fast breaks. Takes a tumble as he goes for the pickpocket. Adorno working in the paint, trying to get to the rim, and he does. How about that footwork from Brandon Adorno?
That was a pretty chaotic possessions there that we just seen. Ball going everywhere while stumbling, but Marian and Brandon Adorno were able to recover and get a good shot there at the end.
Collicott for three. No good off the front of the rim. First missed shot of the night for Collicott, 2 for 3 now. Eli Vogel working on Willard, gets it to Field. Over to Krolak. Krolak moving, central, out to Field. Field, floater, well short, rebounded by Johnson, gets the pass to Collicott. Collicott working one-on-one on Vogel, sidesteps him and makes him look silly. Jacob Collicott, another bucket to make it a 14-point game.
Yeah, it seemed like he was going for the flop there. So I was trying to take the charge, but Collicott was able to recognize, use his angles to get around, and made him pay.
Field swings to Vogel. Vogel is going to get the off-ball foul. Riker Johnson with an illegal screen.
Yeah, it looked like he just wasn't set there. A bit of a movement with the knee there.
Johnson Beckman will catch a breather. Kenton Pryor and Aaron Brown back into the game, and A.J. Willard will also catch a breather as Darian Williams is subbed back in.
One stat that I do want to highlight so far throughout this game, Cougars have 13 assists throughout this first half compared to Marian's 2. So kind of tells you the kind of ball movement that we're seeing from the Cougars, the kind of offensive weapons that are being utilized tonight. As there is a traveling violation there from Jacob Collicott. But seems like the Cougars are really moving the ball around, spreading the floor, and sharing the basketball. And a lot of guys are getting a lot of different shots. As we were talking about, Jacob Collicott needed to take more shots, but a lot of his other teammates have been getting involved, which is a good sign to see for the Cougars. Means that it's not just one person that they need to rely on for tonight.
Krolak's three, no good. Rebounded by Watt. Sends it to Brown. Brown driving in on Ianni. Puts up the short shot, no good. Rebounded by Ianni. Under 40 seconds to go in the half. Marian looking to close out with some points, get some momentum before they go into the break. Krolak driving. Short shot, no good. Gets his own rebound. Second chance opportunity, and one. Harper Krolak going to head to the line with a chance at a three-point play.
Good pursuit there from Krolak. Missed the first, but was able to get his own rebound and stay through it with the contact. Pretty good focus there. And now he's going to try to earn the three-point play at the line. He is shooting 63% from the line this year.
Harper Krolak puts it up. and hits it. 3-point play for Krolak. Brings it down to an 11-point game. Under half a minute to go. Shot clock is turned off. Watts over to Williams. Williams back to Watts. Watts back to Williams. Williams fakes the three. Back to Watts. Under 10 to go. Watts driving, moving central, switching right. Looking for somewhere to go. Kicks it to Collicott. Corner three. No good out the front of the rim. Collicott rebound. Floater. No good. And that'll send us to halftime. A strong first half from the Cougars. Gives them an 11-point lead. CUC leads 44-33 over the Sabres. These two teams will take a break. Cougars catch a breather. The Sabres will try and figure things out in the locker room. We'll be back for that second half here on the Cougars Sports Network in just about 15 minutes. What's up, Cougar Nation? I'm Jonathan Shear at the Cougar Sports Network here with Alan Mateo, coming off of an electric first half for Concordia Chicago. They lead the Marian University Sabres 44-33 at halftime, and the difference between the team that played on Wednesday night against Dominican and the team that's been playing today is night and day.
Yeah, the offensive production tonight as a group has been drastically different tonight for the Cougars. It's not just relying on one scorer or one individual person. It's been an entire group effort so far. First assist in that first half, which is more than they have in the entire Dominican game. It kind of tells you the whole story. They've been able to spread the ball around, move it, get guys open looks, and get them easy looks as well. It's not just a hard contested three. We're able to get points in the paint, points in the mid-range, points from the three-point line as well. But it's just so crazy how they're able to use Jacob Collincott as
Absolutely.
the distraction of that. There's been a lot of pressure on him, trying to extend double teams, trying to get guys to get paid. He's just been finding the open man. Be able to say, hey, like, I have three other guys open on the court. I'm going to get this out to them and just trust my teammates. It's a selflessness basketball that they're playing on, and it has been a huge difference compared to the Dominican.
Yeah, like you mentioned, it's that double team pretty much every time he's touching the ball. And you see, usually when he plays, it's a drive to the rim, make an athletic play, swoop around, get it up there. Now, he drives in, draws the coverage. Usually you'll have like Sean Beckman, maybe it's Calasari, someone on the other side who's now wide open, just dish it down there, easy layup. That's the difference. They've changed their mindset on offense. Like you mentioned, there's so many more assists. That's tough to defend. It's a really interesting conundrum for Marian now, because you go into this game prepping for Jacob Collincott. There's a reason he's double teamed. He's been cooking teams all season. So now you have a problem. You're double teaming him, and the Cougars are making you pay for it. So they have to figure out in the halftime, are you going to try to win the way you've been playing? Hope the Cougars start hitting fewer shots, hope you start hitting more? Or are you going to start not covering Jacob as tightly? Are you going to start trying to spread your defense more? Maybe leave him a bit more open, because you can't let the rest of the team get open that easily. That's something that Marian's going to have to figure out. There's no really easy option for that, because both are tough choices.
Yeah, exactly. And you're either going to have to commit to one or the other. But there's just so many guys shooting right now on the Cougars team that is just going really well. In fact, Lowry's having a good game.
Yeah.
Bevan's having an
Absolutely.
excellent game so far. Already with 12 points, right? You know, and the small lineup that Marian is throwing out there currently, when he's on the floor, it just really has been easy picks for him. And so if Marian doesn't make the adjustments necessary, it's going to turn into really, realistically, a blowout game.
Absolutely. I mean, on Marian's end, the problem on offense for them, this is a team that utilizes the bench. Everyone's getting rotated in and out, and the bench production isn't really there. You have 7 points from Harper Krolak, 2 from Jack Field, and that's it. Everything else is coming from the starters. They need to get more people involved like they do when they play well, because right now, the Cougars are able to shut down their offense. Right now, it's Brandon Adorno running the engine, and that's it. That's what Marian's struggling with, getting those other players involved. But as we head into the second half, the Cougars, here's the danger. Their second half performance for the last month has been a problem. They play well in the first, it drops off in the second. What do you think they need to do, Alan, to keep up this performance in that second half?
They don't need to do anything else. They just keep doing what they have been doing throughout that first half and just taking it to the second half. Everything has been working. They look very comfortable. They look way more in control than they did against the Dominican. They just look like they're playing their Cougar basketball, pretty much. They're just having their way right now, and they just need to keep it up. They need to keep putting that pressure on them defensively, because Marian just not able to have any answer for it now. So they just keep doing what they're doing. They're doing a great job.
Absolutely. It'll be interesting to see again that conundrum. Do they stay with the plan? Do they cover Jacob Collincott? Are they going to have to come off of him, or are the Cougars going to make him pay? Should be an exciting second half. The Cougars up 11 headed into the second half in what is a must-win game for CUC. Marian, they're trailing in a game where they're fighting to stay above 500 as they have struggled as of late. We'll see what happens in that second half. It'll be an exciting one here on the Cougar Sports Network, and we'll be back for it in just a moment.
Hey Cougar fans, interested in learning more about our university? Head over to cuchicago.edu for all the information you need. Thanks for tuning in to today's game, and we hope to see you soon.
Welcome back to River Forest here at Concordia University of Chicago for half number 2 of this game between the Concordia Chicago Cougars and the Marian University Sabres. The Cougars lead 44-33 after an electric first half. Marian struggling to find an answer for a new look Cougars offense that's been out on the court today.
Yeah, they've been looking really, really solid, just sharing the ball, moving the ball around. Hopefully they're able to continue this in the second half and just continue the hot shooting they have throughout this game.
Talis Lowry running point, moving in, kicking out to Beckman. 3. No good. Rebounded by Vogel. Sean Beckman usually good for at least 1 or 2 threes a game, but today in a game where he has been playing very well, 0 for 4 from beyond the arc.
Sometimes it just does not want to go down. But that was a good-looking shot there from Beckman, just rimmed out. Just going to have to keep shooting them, keep taking them.
Good defense from Jacob Collicott. Behind the back slap for a steal. Darian Williams pushing down, throwing it up, and that's going to get stuck in the rim. So jump ball, that's Marian possession.
A little wedgie right there. On the rim. It's been a while since I've seen one of those.
And we'll see when they get it down. There you go. Game day crew bringing over the rack, but they don't need it. Jacob Collicott gets up there and slaps it down. Brad Adorno inbounds Andrew Ianni. Ianni running point, working on Aaron Brown, slashing in, kicks out. Vasilakis, no good off the front of the rim, gets his own rebounds, gets it to Gingras, no good. Gingras can't get his own rebound. Loose ball, broken up by Beckman on the floor. Collicott gets it out to Brown, and the Cougars, a scrappy team rebound.
Yeah, some of these starters for Marian just been having some cold nights. Gingras and Vasilakis both shot in that possession. They're both 0 for 3, 0 for 2 so far with over 11 and 17 minutes per game right now, respectively. Just cold so far for these starters.
Now it's a steal for Brandon Adorno, and he wastes it with a bad pass of his own. Jacob Collicott now pushing it down court for CUC. Evades a double coverage, kicks out to Talis Lowry. Minute and a half in, neither team has scored yet this half. Collicott over to Beckman. Beckman looking central, lays off to Lowry. Lowry now moving left, gets it to Williams. Back over to Lowry. Lowry working on Vasilakis, kicks it to Williams, to Collicott. Collicott back over to Williams. Williams now moving central, draws the foul on Ianni.
I love the ball movement, Jonathan. It's looking really, really good. What I also just noticed is you really just don't see really anybody in the same spot for like more than a few seconds, which is keeping that Marian defense on its heels, on its toes. And when you're able to do that, it makes it a lot easier to be able to spread the ball, spread around, because you're always having to constantly move.
There's Talis Lowry moving up to take the inbound from Collicott. Kicks out over to A.J. Willard. Willard to Beckman in the corner. Beckman driving in. Tries to get that to Brown, just has to slap it as it's interrupted, and that's a steal for Marian. Both teams aggressive D, and it's working out for both of them. Adorno running point. Top of the key, drives in, gets it to Ianni. Ianni spins, puts it up over Collicott. Can't do it, and Collicott gets the rebound. Jacob Collicott pushing the pace to Willard. Willard driving down the baseline. Layup, no good. Beckman fighting for the rebound. Sam Gingras can't get it, but it's out of bounds on a Cougar. So that'll be Sabre ball.
Not really see what exactly happened down there. Don't know who it went off of or how Willard even came down. But
Not sure which Cougar it was off of, but it's off of a Cougar, so it'll be Marian's ball. I mean, we're 2 minutes, 20 seconds into the half, and you're at the stretch where you can classically say that both teams are on a 2 minute, 20 second scoring drought.
Oh, a lot of solid defense so far being played, but also some turnovers as well have been contributing to that.
Yeah, Cougars 3 turnovers already this half. Marian 2 turnovers. Cougars put up 2 shots, missed both of them. Marian's put up 3 shots, missed both of them. And it'll be Marian's ball coming out of that timeout.
Oh, it's actually Cougar basketball.
And so it is Cougar ball. Official going the wrong direction initially, so Jacob Collicott will inbound. Gets it to Willard. Willard moving central out to Lowry, so Lowry call the play now. Now Coach Cyril's calling in a new play. Tallis Lowry to Collicott. Collicott's your distributor. Back over to Lowry. Lowry driving, spinning, puts up a shot, nails it! And one from mid-range for Tallis Lowry.
Did not really see who the foul was on, but he was looking for a call there. And it seems like it came a little bit late, but that was a great shot.
So they tag it on Brandon Adorno. Tallis Lowry, chance for a 3-point play. Converts it. First bucket of the half, and the Cougars extend their lead to 14.
Lowry having a really, really good game so far. 10 points in 13 minutes, taking advantage of that starting role tonight. And shooting the ball well, getting some good looks, taking advantage of it.
Miami down in the corner, working on Brown, still working in, tries to get that to Vasilakis, and he can't. Steal for Jacob Collicott. Brown driving in, Beckman, blocked, gets the loose ball. Still fighting for it, that's stolen away by Marian. So Sam Gingras running a 3-on-2 opportunity now. Over to Vasilakis, corner 3, no good, rebounded by Collicott. Now Collicott pushing the pace, working on Adorno, spinning his way in, that's a steal for Vogel. Brandon Adorno, long pass to Vogel. Vogel goes up for it, no good. Rebound Gingras. Gingras blocked by Collicott. And that's out of bounds, and that'll stop the chaos. It's still going to be Marian ball.
A lot happened there. A lot happened there so fast. But I'd like to highlight just the kind of resilience that Jacob Collicott had on that possession. Did not make the shot, but he came all the way across the court to come back and defend that opportunity that Marian put up. And it's just that kind of energy and effort that has really, really been a key theme for the Cougars tonight, just coming out with that intensity.
A.J. Willard going to be tagged for a foul on the inbound, so it'll be a reset of inbound for Marian. That's going to get to Ianni. Ianni all alone on the near side, sends that across to Gingras. Gingras charging in, puts up the shot, too much on it. Ianni able to get in there and fight for a jump ball, so that'll go the Cougars' way. Possession arrow pointing the way of CUC, so CUC will take possession now. Tallis Lowry running point for the Cougars. Still, only 1 bucket made for either team almost 4 minutes into the half.
Yeah, Marian shooting 0 for 7 so far in this half.
Lowry to Beckman to Williams to Willard. Willard driving baseline out to Lowry. Lowry now driving baseline. Double coverage. Flings it to Williams. Williams covered by Vogel. Moving in to Willard. Willard, 3. Wide left, out of bounds. That's a shot clock violation. That'll be Marian's ball.
It just seemed like he just either did not get the release right there, just opened up a little bit too soon on the shot.
Little bit of a rush release, as now Andrew Ianni will run point. Gets that to Vogel. Vogel now over to Adorno. Adorno working on Willard, driving in, stopping on the corner. Nice pass to Gingras, and Marian's back on the board.
Almost 5 minutes without a bucket there for Marian. Good for their offense to see something go through the net.
Willard over to Lowry. Lowry looking for somewhere to go. Gets it to Beckman. Beckman to Brown. No look. Pass. Brown goes up and one!
Cougars punch right back. And beautiful ball movement there as well. A lot of off-ball movement, able to lead to an open shot. They continue that theme of selfless basketball, which is something really good to see.
And Sean Beckman's having him a day. We're seeing Sean Beckman, the point scorer, Sean Beckman, the defender, Sean Beckman, the distributor today. as Aaron Brown's up at the line with a chance to make it a three-point play. Couple of subs for the Cougars. Jacob Collicott back into the game for A.J. Willard. Brown. Shot up. No good. But that's a free throw violation on Trey Jenkins. So Aaron Brown gets a mulligan.
It seemed like he just stepped a little bit too soon. Almost like an offsides in football.
And Brown can't take advantage of it. Jenkins is there for the rebound. Adorno passes it, gets it down to Krolak. Krolak out to Ianni, over to Jenkins. Jenkins moving in, tries to get it to Ianni. Ianni keeps it alive. Now Krolak driving in, out to Jenkins. Corner three, hits it. That's a needed three for the Sabres, and it's back to an 11-point game.
Jenkins coming off. Excuse me. That was not Hall that made that shot. That was a.
It was Malik Hall, not Trey Jenkins, with the corner three. So apologies to Hall. That's his first bucket of the night. And there's a steal for Marian. Vasilakis moving central, working on Brown. It gets that to Ianni. Over to Krolak. Now Krolak kicks out to Hall. Hall, three. Now it's actually a long two. Either way, it's an air ball rebounded by Collicott. Collicott to Beckman to Williams. Spot up three. Hits it! Concordia responds!
As we mentioned, they just look to be in such a calm, zen manner right now. A really, really good shot there for Williams, but caught it in his space, caught it in a good form, and just did not rush himself there. And that was a good shot there.
Now Vasilakis for three, and he responds. Back to back to back, these two teams trade blows, and Rashawn Searles will call a timeout for his squad. That's going to be a full timeout for the Cougars. So these two teams take a break, try some new stuff out on the court. In just a moment, we'll take a break here at the Cougar Sports Network. We'll be back for more basketball in just a moment. Welcome back to Geisman Gymnasium. It was an 11-point deficit at half. And guess what? It's still an 11-point deficit. Here with 13:43 to go in the game, Cougars lead 52-41. Both teams scoring 8. And the Cougars have possession. Andrew Vasilakis hitting, Alex Vasilakis, hitting the three to respond to a Darian Williams three right before that timeout. And Joel Otts will end that to Williams. Jacob Collicott slings it to Williams. Williams back over to Collicott. Coach Diener wants to travel. Collicott to Watts. Watts now working right, slings it to Collicott. Back to Watts. These two going back and forth. Now Watts looking in. Under tough coverage from Hall. Just slings it across to Williams. Corner three, and he's fouled by Vasilakis.
Interesting decision from Joel Watts. Has a cross court there. He was open as he did draw the double team. Fortunately, it worked out for the Cougars there as that was a bad foul there from Marian. Hopefully, Marian Williams can now convert at the line.
I think Williams was open, not that open. I think Vasilakis just got a bit too ahead of himself with trying to block it. Williams misses the first free throw, has 2 more to go. Second free throw's up, no good. Darian Williams trying to salvage a 3 free throw trip. We can go 1 for 3 here.
Yeah, at least get 1 out of this. At least 1.
And he will. 1 for 3 trip to the line for Darian Williams. Back in the game is Jack Field.
Once again, Marian running the smaller lineup with Sean Beckman on the floor.
Krolak moving left, and Watts almost able to pickpocket him. Field feints the 3, swings that to Vasilakis, back to Hall, back to Field. Jacob Collicott's going to pickpocket him. Collicott goes up there, easy layup for Jacob Collicott.
I was kind of waiting for him to dump the ball. I don't know about you, but I kind of was.
But you see Jacob Collicott for like 10 feet there, was running with the ball, just like sitting on his shoulder. He couldn't figure out why it wasn't in his hands.
All that matters is that he got the basket. That's all that matters.
As there's a little kick ball call on the Cougars, so Marian will retain possession on their side of the court. Adorno to inbound. Brandon Adorno hasn't hit a bucket this half. As he drives, baseline, goes up for it, and they'll say he's fouled by Collicott.
Good foul there. That's a good foul. He will take that all day. Somebody who has been their leading scorer tonight, Brandon Adorno, got to make him earn it, and not a bad foul there.
Adorno's first shot up and in.
Brandon Adorno's first trip to the line actually tonight. First free throw attempt.
And second shot's no good. 1 for 2 trip to the line. Joel Watts running point for the Cougars. Gets it to Williams. Williams back to Watts. Watts. Entrance pass to Beckman. Out to Collicott. Now Collicott over to Watts. Watts back into Collicott. Over to Williams. 3. No good. Beckman able to reach for that rebound. Now Watts in the paint. Gets it to Johnson. Avoids the travel. Over to Collicott. Now for a 3. That's no good. Williams fighting for the rebound, and he'll draw the foul on Vasilakis.
A lot going on there in that possession. Cougars getting some second chance, third chance opportunities here. Hopefully they can convert and take advantage. I was thinking, however, that Sean Beckman did get a few good looks there in the middle. Not sure why he passed up there. Was open on a few attempts there, but regardless, Cougar basketball.
Watts moving right, double coverage. Tries to get that to Johnson. Somehow it does. Now Beckman on the near side gets it to Johnson. Johnson moving in, and a bad pass. Trying to no-look it to Darian Williams.
Seems like Marian is throwing a lot more bodies, at a lot more of a faster pace. For the Cougars, seem like they rushed them there a little bit.
Harper Krolak running point. Marian trails by 13. Hall! Little skip step, and he's tagged with a travel.
Yeah, that was a pretty obvious call there. Stroll in the park.
Pass wasn't there that he wanted. Drake Diener just frustrated on the sideline. His team not playing the way he wants them to. Collicott gets that to Williams, over to Watts. Watts slashing in, stops, out to Collicott, over to Beckman, over to Watts. Watts now moving in, out to Williams. 3, no good, rattles out.
Good look there from the Cougars. Unfortunately, did not go down, but keep getting those looks. Keep getting those looks as they will fall.
Krolak working on Williams. Gets it to Field, back to Krolak. Krolak moving in, still moving in. Out to Hall, corner 3. Rattles out, and Williams is there for the rebound. Quick possession, gets it to Collicott, over to Beckman. Beckman gets it in. Great ball movement on that transition possession from CUC, and they lead by 15, their largest lead of the day. Krolak driving in, putting up the layup, no good, draws the foul on Watts.
Feeling it's just, I don't know about you, Jonathan, but just feel like this Marian team just came out just a little bit flat coming out the second half so far. Seems like they just still haven't at all just been comfortable this entire game.
They're not comfortable creating the shots. They're not comfortable taking the shots either. Struggling to hit them, hesitating on open looks, struggling on free throws. Krolak misses his first shot at the line, and he'll have to salvage it with a 1-for-2 trip.
I have to credit the Cougars, though, however. They are being a lot more tenacious tonight on defense, just still bringing that pressure that they brought against the Dominican, but just now they're getting those stops as opposed to that Dominican game where they struggled to keep them from scoring. Tonight, they've just been much better at just executing, which I think has been a big theme.
Krolak trying to salvage this trip, and he does not. The scoring drought of 2+ minutes continues. 0-for-2 trip to the line for Krolak. Watts working central. Gets it to Collicott. Collicott over to Williams. Williams to Watts. Watts moving central. Trapped. Gets it to Jacob Collicott. Now Williams driving. Mid-range stopper. No good. Rebound Krolak. Krolak. Long pass to Orozco. Back to Ianni. Ianni moving. Baseline. Under layup. Gets it in.
Top bucket there from Ianni, especially with Jacob Collicott on his tail there. Good concentration on the finish.
13-point game. Watts slashing in. What a pass! Out to Riker Johnson. Now Johnson draws the block on Gingras. I mean, how about that pass from Joel Watts? Got up there, hangs up there, and just a full wraparound behind the back pass to escape to Riker Johnson.
I have no idea how he was going to finish that off.
I don't know how the physics
Yeah.
worked on that. You don't see passes like that often. Heck of a play from Watts.
Yeah, that was a tremendous play there. Really good court vision.
I mean, you come back into this game, you kind of see a game where the Cougars go all in on working with assists and ball movement, and you get Joel Watts, who's been your starting point guard all year, back from injury. Then tremendous for the Cougars. Under 10 minutes to go in the game. Cougs lead by 13. Willard gets that down to Collicott. Watts looking for someone. Gets that to Brown. Brown working on Ianni, puts it up, and gets it in! Beats the shot clock buzzer. Back to a 15-point lead.
Almost seemed like a desperation heave there from the Cougars, but ended up working in their favor.
Krolak draws the foul. That'll send Krolak to the line again. Last time it was an 0-for-2 trip. And you're going to have to figure out a way to do better on this one. First free throw's up and in. So Krolak, that breaks a scoring drought for Marian. Look at him go 2-for-2 this trip. Shot up and in. Hunter Krolak gets some redemption. Jacob Collicott bringing it down court for the Cougars. 9 points left in the game. Cougars lead by 13. Watts able to get past half court. Gets it to Collicott. Back to Watts. So Watts back to Collicott. Willard coming over. Gets it over to Watts on the near side. Back to Collicott central. Back over to Watts. Watts trying to get it inside the arc. Over to Willard. Willard driving. Mid-range jumper blocked by Gingras. And they're going to call a foul on Gingras. Gingras is not happy with it. Coach Diener upset with that call.
Looking back on that, I do feel like there was a little bit of contact there on Willard's end when he got hit on the jump shot. So I think, honestly, it was the right call.
Willard misses the first free throw, looking to salvage the trip. And he does. Back to a 14-point lead. Inbound to Ianni. Ianni working on Collicott. Able to get it past midcourt. Gets past Willard, double teamed, over to Vogel. Vogel now, corner to Gingras, corner three. No good, long off the back of the rim. Collicott with a rebound. It's a 3-on-2 possession, gets it to Lalaudis, and Lalaudis is fouled.
We're still pushing that pace, which is really good to see. Even up with this big lead that they have, trying to really put Marian away for good. Not taking their foot off the gas pedal at all.
That'll send Andreas Lalaudis to the line. First shot's up. And no good. Rounds around a couple of times. Lalaudis, 2 career points as a Cougar, getting some minutes here in the second half. As CUC makes a couple of subs. Brandon Adorno coming back into the game for Marian.
Well, there's one thing that we can agree about both teams tonight is that the free throw shooting has not been great. 55% for Marian and 54% for the Cougars so far tonight.
Allowed is his second shot, up and in. Salvages that trip, 1 for 2. 15-point lead for CUC, and the Cougars are still pressing. Krolak gets past midcourt. Working into the paint, working under the paint. Reverse layup and 1! Harper Krolak will head to the line for a chance for a 3-point play.
Well, there's somebody fighting on that Marian side. It's definitely Krolak right now. Him and Adorno have really been the main carriers tonight. And so far, second half, Krolak has 4 points so far. Has been to the line already twice. It's going to be his 3rd trip here. Trying to convert a 3-point play.
Krolak. It's the first free throw. That's a 3-point play for Marian. Back to a 12-point deficit with 8 minutes to go. That's going to be a full timeout from Marian with 8 minutes to play. We'll take a break here on the Cougar Sports Network. The teams take a break on the court. We'll be back in just a moment for more Cougar basketball.
Hey Cougar fans, we hope you're enjoying today's CUC men's basketball broadcast. If you're interested in donating to our athletic communications department to help improve the live stream you're watching, click the thank you button. We appreciate your support on and off the court and hope to see you really soon on campus. Thank you.
And welcome back to Geisman Gymnasium. 8:05 left in the game, and the Cougars lead by 12. And they have the ball. Tallis Lowry back into the game to run point. That's hooked to Jacob Collicott. Back to Lowry. Collicott to Lowry. Lowry looking central, gets it to Williams. Has Collicott to his left. Collicott, entrance pass to Lowry. Beckman fighting for it. Able to save it, gets it to Collicott. Over to the corner to Williams. Long two, hits it.
Good recovery there from the Cougars. Looked like it was going to be a turnover possession there for them, but Good pursuit there from Bevan to cover on the ball. Collicott with a great pass, and Derry Williams with a good look there.
Krolak almost loses it in the paint. Still moving around, gets it to Vogel, out to Adorno. Adorno hasn't hit a field goal this half. He'll drive in, go up for a layup, and get it.
Pretty move. Also really pretty move there from Adorno.
That responds to the Cougars. Collicott working with a 12-point lead. Drops back to Lowry. Over to Collicott. Back to Lowry. Back over to Collicott. Back to Lowry. 6:50 remaining. Lowry. Back to Collicott. Collicott feints the three. Working in. 4 seconds left. And he will draw the foul on Vogel. That'll send Collicott to the line for a 1-for-1 free throws.
Open for the Cougars to make this free throw here, extend the lead, also improve on that free throw percentage so far this half, as it is at 44%.
Misses the first free throw, so that's a fruitless possession for Collicott. Brandon Adorno running point, working at the three-point line, continuing to move in, kicks that out to Gingras. Gingras now working in on Brown, trying to get around him, spinning, layup, no good. Collicott rebound. Jacob Collicott sends that over to Joel Watts. Marian's got to start scoring at some point. Watts lobs that in for Brown. That's out of bounds off of the Sabres.
Yeah, Jonathan, you mentioned that Marian has to get going here pretty soon as they're looking still pretty slow throughout this entire half. To not start scoring the basketball here pretty soon is gonna start really dwindling away.
6:08 left, still a 12-point lead for the Cougars, and CUC has the ball. Game day crew gets that court nice and dry.
Take it to our guy, Jack Carroll.
Marian Williams sends that in to Joel Watts. Watts, top of the key, puts up a three, hits a long two. Either way, it's no good. Rebound Adorno. Adorno falls over. Ianni gets past half, able to get it away from backcourt danger. Adorno driving on Brown, spinning, puts up a shot, falling back, no good. Krolak, three, converts the second chance. We're back to a 9-point game, and Rashawn Searles is going to call a timeout.
One guy you do not want to leave open tonight for this Marian squad has been Krolak. That is now 15 on the game for the young man. He has been really one of their only high-energy players tonight, and he has been one of their biggest contributors. Have to be able to slow him down here as we keep going in the second half.
I mean, how about that for a needed three? You haven't been scoring, still a double-digit deficit. You're closing in on 5 minutes left. Now you're back into single digits, only down 9. You got some momentum. I think what this shows, though, about the way that Drake Diener, works his lineup, you rotate everyone in that first half. You see who's playing well, they earn more minutes in the second half. I mean, that's what we've been seeing. Harper Krolak has had a lot of minutes out on the court in this second half. He's been out there for most of this half because he's earned them. And he's been one of the most effective players on this roster. It's an interesting strategy, and, it can work. I think the problem is you don't have enough other players on that Marian roster contributing right now. But, they're still in striking distance, and you have to – that's always a concern with the Cougars. This team has struggled with holding late leads right up until 30 seconds left in a game. So that's a very big concern for CUC. And Marian, they know that. They know 5.5 minutes left, only down 9. That's very doable. CUC, they've looked good today, though. They do need to close this one out, and they're currently on a 2-minute scoring drought.
Yeah, I mean, you're mentioning that, players are rotating in for this Marian squad team who's playing well. Krolak has been one of those guys, and getting those minutes on the floor, you're playing who's hot. You play who has been the hot hand. and he has been a big contributor. Cougars seem to be getting a little flat a little bit before the timeout, so hopefully that timeout from Coach Hurls is able to spark some life into him again.
Collicott over to Willard. Willard over to Watts. Watts gets it to Collicott. Collicott feints the three. Back to Watts. Watts covered by Adorno. And Collicott tagged with a travel.
Cougar offense just seemed a little stagnant there. Not much happening. Seems like it was just no really angles for them to go there. Hopefully they can wake back up here.
Brandon Adorno taking the ball down court. 9-point deficit for his squad. Gets it to Eli Vogel. Vogel to Ianni. Ianni, nice entry pass to Adorno, and Adorno is fouled by Collicott. That's Collicott's third foul of the day, and 5 minutes left. It's not too concerning, but Jacob Collicott, if he fouls off, it is a blow to this Concordia team. Concordia Invitational Tournament at this time last week fouled out with 2 minutes left in a game against Concordia, Wisconsin that was close. And you saw the effect it had on the Cougars. It kind of took them out of clawing back into that one. You want your best player out on the court when you need to close a game out, and this is a game that's starting to look like you might need your closers in.
Oh, most definitely. You cannot win basketball games without your best players in, especially when you need them in crunch time. So it's going to be something to note to watch with the foul trouble. But just got to keep pressuring, still got to keep contesting, and got to keep making the adjustments if need be.
Adorno missed it. It goes 1 for 2 on that trip to the free throw line. Collicott looking for somewhere to go. They'll get that to Johnson. Johnson sends down low to Beckman. Beckman working on Ianni. Puts up a shot. No good. Watts slaps that out of bounds on the rebound attempt. That's Marian's ball. So the Sabres, trailing 8, will take possession back. Krolak gets that to Ianni. Ianni straight back to Krolak. Now Ianni running point. Back to Krolak. Krolak working near side. Joel Watts calls the defensive formation. Krolak looking for somewhere to go. Long ball over to Gingras. Now Gingras driving in. Gets it to Ianni. Ianni working on Beckman. Ianni gonna go up. Gets the fall and the harm. Andrew Ianni, a chance for 3. And he could make this a 5-point game.
Wow.
That was a smart play from Andrew Ianni. Time the shot attempt for when you see Sean Beckman go up to a spot you can't come down from, and then muscle through it for the shot too. And Ianni is the biggest guy on this Marian squad, and we've seen as the second half goes on, he started using that size a bit more to his advantage.
Oh yeah, most definitely, and kind of took the anticipation from Beckman, knowing that he was going to go up at some point. Just like you said, John, just timed it perfectly. Is able to fight through the contact. And now, yeah, this 5-point game here with not much here to go. It's going to be interesting to see how this finishes out.
Collicott trying to do something with it. Gets it over to Watts. Watts working on Adorno. And he'll draw a foul. Adorno tagged with blocking. That'll send Watts to the line. 1-and-1 opportunity.
I believe that is Adorno's third foul.
And that is the 10th team foul for Marian, so it is guaranteed 2 shots for Joel Watts. Hits the first.
Huge free throw there. Much needed for the Cougars.
Ends a 4+ minute scoring drought for CUC. Marian was on a 9-0 run before that free throw. And he'll hit the second. Productive trip for Joel Watts. Back to a 7-point game. Krolak gets that into Adorno. Jacob Collicott pressing up on Adorno.
Gotta finish. Gotta finish.
Adorno coming to the near side, working on Collicott. Moving right. Stops. Jumper. Laser. Brandon Adorno back to a 5-point game. And Andrew Ianni is down hard on an off-ball foul, clutching his ankle. And that is not a good look for Marian's big man. As the training staff gets out on the court to help him, these two squads will head over to their benches. And as Ianni stays down on the court, we'll take a break here at the Cougar Sports Network, and we will be back in just a moment for more Cougar basketball.
I don't know if anybody touched.
And welcome back to Geisman Gymnasium. Andrew Ianni helped off to the locker room, and we'll be hoping that he is okay. Cougars have the ball, leading by 5, just over 3 minutes to go. Joel Watts working on Brandon Adorno. Sends that to Darian Williams. Williams back to Watts. Watts slashing in. He'll stop, look for a pass, out to Collicott, back to Watts. Just over 5, shot clock winding down. Watts gets it into Collicott. Collicott fouled. And that'll send him to the line for a chance at 2.
Good cut there from Jacob Collicott to the basket. Looked like this possession was going to end probably nothing there, but that good cut, good pass there. And he's able to create something here and hopefully convert here on the trip to the free throw line.
And now Marian will call a timeout. Sam Gingras now at 4 fouls for the Sabres. And Marian, they're getting close. They're reaching that 5-point gap. They're kind of plateauing at that 5-point gap. The difference maker has been the fouls. CUC has been drawing fouls. They're hitting the free throws enough to keep it around that 5-point gap. And you don't like to see games like this. You had a big lead. Now you're going to have to kind of scrounge your way to the finish line. CUC could very well extend that lead again. Marian, 3 minutes left. It's plenty of time to claw that 5-point gap back down.
Yeah, I feel like if you're the Cougars right now, you have to get the ball out of Brandon Adorno's hands. You cannot let that guy be the one that beats you, because he is shooting 7 for 11 tonight, 3 for 4 from 3, 19 points. I mean, he has been, besides Krolak, their most consistent scorer tonight. And you cannot have somebody who is their driving force. You know that's the #1 option. You have to find a way to have somebody else beat you. You can't live with Brandon Adorno being that guy.
Absolutely. Cougars, Williams, Watts, Collicott, Brown, and Johnson out on the court. And they'll take out Brown for Beckman. So Sean Beckman back in the game. Cougars 5 minutes out of the field goal. I mean, Collicott at the line. That field goal drought will continue. Jacob Collicott at 8 points on the night, trying to make it a double-double with this trip to the line. And he won't. First free throw, well short, barely clipping the rim.
Say them legs, say them legs.
And Collicott does salvage the trip. 1 for 2 trip to the line. Adorno inbounds to Vasilakis. Back to Adorno. Under 3 minutes to go. Marian trails by 6. Adorno working on Collicott. Thought about spotting up for 3. Gets in. No one there. Poor pass. Williams steals it. Williams slows it down. Gets to Collicott, who gets it to Watts.
Good job there from the Cougars, slowing it down. Don't rush anything.
Johnson moving to the rim. No good. Foul. That'll send Riker Johnson to the line.
I think that's one of the difference there on just that possession alone that you see tonight compared to the Dominican game. I feel like in that Dominican game, they probably would have tried to push the pace there and try to create a shot that was not there. But, able to take it back out, reset, create something, and be able to get something out of the possession that's beneficial is what the Cougars did here. And hopefully now they have the chance to convert.
And that's number 5 on Sam Gingras. He is done for the night. One of those Marian big men is going to bring Jack Field back into the game.
We'll probably end up seeing Ayeni probably check in pretty soon as well.
Andriani still not back from the locker room. Riker Johnson misses that first free throw. He'll look to salvage this trip. And he won't, but Collicott's there for the rebound, and he's fouled. So the Cougars will head to the line again anyways. And that one's tagged on Adorno. That's Adorno's 4th. Just a desperation foul. Cougars get a lucky bounce off the missed free throw, and Collicott hits it. That puts Collicott back up to a double-double. 10 and 11 for Jacob Collicott. Make it 11 and 11. Cougars lead by 8, 2.5 to go. Marian, they've fallen into a bit of a rut. Need points on this possession. Adorno, step back 3. No good. Loose ball rebound. That's going to be a foul tagged on Riker Johnson, it looks like. That'll send Vasilakis to the free throw line.
Only down by 8 are Marian. You don't really need a 3 this around this time on the clock. Still have a lot of basketball to be played left. I don't want to look for a better possession shot there. Vasilakis drains the first free throw.
I'll look to make it 2 for 2. You bring this down to a 6-point gap, 2-16. You hate to say, especially because it's the Cougars, but you got to still feel good about your chances with that gap, especially because it's the Cougars. This is a team that struggles with that gap, and you get a gift. Sean Beckman can't get the rebound cleanly. He knocks it out of bounds. So Marian, they'll get a free possession off of the missed free throw. Dorno gets that into Field. Field to Vogel. Vogel back to Field. Field, 3. No good. Rattles out. Watts is there for the rebound.
Good pace here from the Cougars.
Watts working on Adorno. Slings it to Collicott. Under 2 minutes to go. Cougars lead by 7. Johnson in the arc. Back out to Watts. Watts now slashing. He'll back out. Get it back to Johnson. Back to Watts. Moving in, moving central. He'll go up for it! What a layup from Joel Watts. No look behind the back. The Cougars are up by 9.
Incredible finish from Joel Watts. We were mentioning it in the pregame, his impact on this game. As you see a steal here.
Joel Watts all over the place. Sean Beckman with a layup, and the Cougars are back in control. Marian on the back foot. They trail by 11. Adorno going down the far sideline. Steps back, moves in, looking for somewhere to go. He's going to throw up a desperation heave, and he's fouled.
How about those 2 possessions there from Joel Watts?
Cougars. Justin, you're coming off of Marian only trails by 6. They got to feel good about their chances, and they just get a free possession. They're suddenly back to an 11-point deficit. All momentum going the Cougars' way. Dorno misses the first free throw, too.
Oh, he thought it was a 1-and-1.
Dorno not clear on what the scenario was. So he gets his second free throw, and he hits it. That puts Adorno at 20 points on the night. But the Sabres, with just over a minute left, still trail by 10. Watts driving down court, slashing in, and he's blocked. Vasilakis gets up from behind and slaps that out of bounds.
I imagine if the Cougars end up scoring here, probably be a big deficit to come back from with a minute left. There will be a timeout called.
And Coach Diener will call a timeout Full timeout with a minute to go. We'll take a break here at the Cougar Sports Network. We'll be back to see how this last minute goes down in just a moment. Welcome back to Geisman Gymnasium. Minute left. Cougars lead by 10. They have possession. Watts inbounds to Johnson. Johnson swarmed. Williams swarmed. Collicott able to give him an escape, and he's swarmed and he's fouled. Jacob Collicott back at the line. He's 3 for 5 from the free throw line today.
Pretty good game for Jacob Collicott tonight.
You got to say, we were talking about he wasn't scoring as much as he usually does, but, he's been efficient. He's done a lot more tonight in terms of passing and assisting. That's a tough free throw. Rattles around and out. Kenton Pryor coming into the game for Sean Beckman now.
Yeah, no, I totally agree.
And Collicott 0 for 2 on that trip. Adorno. Got to go quick. Driving in. Layup. No good. Gets the rebound. He's going to kick it back out to Vogel, who goes for a 3, and he hits it! Eli Vogel going to give Marian some life. They have 2 players from the Cougars on the ground. Not sure how. They'll press on Watson. They'll foul. Marian actually confused about why there was a foul called. I don't think that I think the Sabres didn't want to foul yet, but I think the officials were in the mentality of they're going to start fouling, so we're going to just start getting with those preemptive foul calls that you see because you don't want players to start whacking at the end of the game.
Right.
Either way, Marian's not complaining. This could go their way, but Watts does hit the first shot. Watts is not the guy that you want at the free throw line if you're hoping for someone to miss.
Definitely not. Shooting 82% from the line coming into tonight.
Now 3 for 3 on tonight. The idea you're looking for someone like Riker Johnson, even Jacob Collicott to head to the line. Watts, second shot now. That rattles out. Marian gets the rebound. Got to go quickly. Just under 40 seconds left. Krolak moving down court, driving in. Gets that over to Vogel. Vogel to Vasilakis. Vasilakis to Adorno. Adorno, step back 3. No good. Rebound, Vasilakis. Cougars get a steal. And Johnson's fouled. So Riker Johnson will now head to the line. The Cougars up by 8 with 21 seconds left and a chance to get some dagger free throws here.
Riker Johnson, so 0 for 2 in his first trip to the line. Really only need 1 free throw here. Pretty much will seal the game up, so I'll they convert.
And that's another tough free throw miss for Riker Johnson. Marian, if Johnson misses this, if you're Marian, you got to go quickly. You got to get it down, get a shot off about 5-6 seconds. He does miss. And there's an off-ball foul on Darian Williams. Williams just confused. There is foul on the rebound. That'll send Vasilakis, who is a decent free throw shooter, 1 for 2 on the night, better than that on the season, to the line. This is actually a good scenario for Marian. Vasilakis hits the first. You're going to get a little speculative in this little break, Allen. You're Vasilakis, do you go for the intentional miss here, or do you hit the second shot and take the 2 points?
Oh, that's a tough one right now. Probably would have had to take the chance and see what happens with the missed free throw.
But he'll just make it. Does make it a 2-possession game now. Collicott gets it to Watts. Got a foul. Long pass to Beckman. That's a dagger. Sean Beckman for 2. And Krolak inbounds to Vogel. 15 seconds to go. Vogel going slowly. Still going slowly. That's a steal for Lelautis, and that's going to close it. Now Cougars get it on their side of the court. Williams holds, pretends to go up for the 3, and he'll shoot it after the buzzer. The Cougars, for the first time in nearly a month, pick up a win at home, and it's a big one over Marian. Don't count the Cougs out yet in a must-win game. They get a win. That moves them up to 5-7 in conference play. I mean, you talk about a must-win games. Both teams have got to go at it. They really made it a game at the end there.
Yeah, and for Marian, this is now 5 of 6 losses. And you kind of feel like it's going to probably shake some stuff up in the NAC. With them being in 6 coming into tonight with that loss, it's probably going to be a bit of a shift after tonight's action. And for the Cougars, it's a huge win, a must-win game, as we were mentioning, Jonathan. And, hopefully it's the start of a nice momentum shift for them coming into the start of February. January was not the best month for them, but, starting off strong here this month, and hope to keep it going throughout the rest of the season.
Yeah, and the Cougars now 1 win away from all of those teams with 6 wins. One of those teams with 6 wins being now Marian, who's now 6-7. Cougars sitting at 5-7. Marian, you're starting to sweat a little bit. Your playoff chances, which early on in the season looked pretty secured, now they're a little threatened. Marian, tough loss today in River Forest, but a big win for Concordia Chicago. CUC picks up the win, 75-67 over Marian. Off the back, some big performances. Sean Beckman, 18 points. And 6 rebounds for the big man. Electric early on. Jacob Collicott picks up another double-double. 11 points, 12 rebounds. And a big change for his style of play. 6 assists. Led the team in that category as well. Jacob Collicott really showing what he can do out on the court today. Elsewhere in double digits for the Cougars. Chalice Lowry, Darian Williams, both getting into double digits, 11 and 12 respectively. Joel Watson, his return to the court, 8 points in his first day back, 1 for 2 from 3. And then on Marian's side, 20 points for Brandon Adorno, his best efforts today. Andrew Ianni, before he was injured, 11 points. Harper Krolak, big day off the bench, 15 points. That'll do it here in River Forest. Concordia Chicago, big win, 75-67. They'll head out to Rockford University this Wednesday. Another one of those teams who's in the bottom half of that conference the Cougars will be fighting for to try and pick up a 6th win, stay on the winning side of the column. And Marian, chance to get right again. They head back home to take on Illinois Tech. They get a week-long break. They're not back in action until February 8th, and that's a needed break for this Marian team, who's now on a 4-game losing streak. They'll catch a breather, and they'll head back out in action there. Cougars now 5-7 in conference. Marian now 6-7. Don't go away just yet, because we're headed down courtside for a post-game interview with head coach Rashawn Searles in just a moment. But again, Cougars win 75-67. We'll be back with that post-game interview with Coach Searles in just a moment. What's up, Cougar Nation? I'm Jonathan Shear with the Cougar Sports Network, down here courtside after a big Cougars win, taking down Marian University at home, 75-67. I'm here with Riker Johnson from that team. Big win for you guys today. Nearly a month since the last time you guys won at home. How does it feel to not only get back on the right side of the win column, but to do it after so many games where you guys were that close but just couldn't get the job done?
Yeah, it feels pretty great to finally get one here. It's always good to do it in the home crowd. The energy here is so much different compared to away games. A lot more people on our side.
Absolutely, and that energy really great, especially at the end. Marian, they really put up a fight at the end there, got within 5 points. You guys ended up responding easily, though. Shut down any of those rallies, put that gap back out, and that's something that your team has struggled with at points this year. So, you know, if you guys really how do you guys focus on rallying, trying to stop those late game slides from happening? Because you did it today.
Yeah, it just takes us to lock in on the smaller detailed things. Rebounding has been important down the stretch, and I feel in the past games we let up those rebounds at the end of the game, but I felt like we got them here, and it just took a little bit extra to get in on defense and get those stops at the end that we need.
Definitely. And something that was very apparent out on the court today was, I mean, the way the team played as a whole, and it was a lot of the small things. A big point you go back to this last Wednesday when you guys played Dominican, 10 assists on the game as a whole. You guys had 13 assists in the first half alone today. The team play, the passing, the ball movement. I mean, everyone was getting involved. For example, your involvement, it doesn't really show up as much on the stat sheet, but just the placement, the ball movement, the passing. Everyone playing their role today. Was that the focus in the last couple of days coming into today?
We've been focusing a lot on spreading the ball more and getting more ball movement within the offense, and it's started to work out pretty well for us. As you can see, 13 assists in the first half. That's more than we have in a lot of games. So.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, one of those big changes today, you've been missing for the last couple games, Joel Watts coming back in. He's one of your team's, though, premier ball distributors, and he had a good game out there, hit a couple threes. How does the kind of the dynamic of your team out on the court change when you have that extra option?
Joel, he's an incredible facilitator, so he sees the floor in the ways that nobody really else does on our team. So having him out there and be able to get those looks that we don't normally get, it just wears down the defense and helps us out.
Absolutely, and as you guys head forwards, you're not out of the fight for the conference playoffs just yet. Must-win game today, and you guys got it done. What would you say the mentality around your team is as you go forward from here into the fast stages of the season?
It's going to take it one game at a time. Like I said, we can't win all the next 5 games in one. So we just got to look out for our next opponent and really lock in practice and do the things that we need to do to be able to go out next week and get that one.
Absolutely. Well, that'll do it here from Cordy, Chicago. Cougars take down the visiting Sabres 75-67. Riker, great game for your team out there.
Appreciate it.
Thanks for coming on for the post-game interview. Like we mentioned, Cougars back in action this Wednesday out at Rockford University. You can catch up on anything you missed from today and follow all of that action live at cucougars.com. I'm Jonathan Shear, the Cougar Sports Network. Thank you for joining us today. And as always, roll Cougs.